Would you stay in a cabin with views like this? But it also has views like this. We are going to take you on a tour of a conservatory balcony cabin on board P&O's Arvia. That is on deck 8, the promenade deck. Stay till the end and find out exactly who we think this cabin is definitely for and not for. We'll give you our full review, exactly what we thought, but first of all, let's take a tour of the cabin. This cabin is 255 square feet. You can book this cabin for £5,000 for a family of 4 or £6,000 for a family of 4. That depends if it's in the Med or the Caribbean. There are 87 of these on Arvia, 28 of them are on deck 8 and 59 are on deck 9. As you can see, the balcony is fairly large. There are 2 chairs out there, a little table and a little footstool. The perks of staying in this cabin are that due to the fact it's a suite, you get a welcome on board lunch with early check-in, which was very handy. We were on board very early. You also get a bottle of sparkling wine in the room and a few other perks which we will tell you about as we go along with this tour. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, we would really appreciate it. We've got plenty more content coming up. Now into the cabin itself. Pretty standard size inside, I would say, but very well laid out. You can see quite a narrow room. That would be one of the things I would say. Plenty of spaces to hang things up, and we also took magnetic hooks with us. Into the bathroom. Really nice modern bathrooms. Really like the bathrooms on Arvia. Love the shower. The fact that the door goes in and out on the shower screen, that is. Tom didn't figure this out until the last day. Plenty of space for all of your toiletries. This was as we had first got into the room, so there's nothing there, but we did have those shelves full. Here you've got the aircon control, pretty standard stuff, pretty easy to use. A very comfy bed, I must say, although there was no pillow menu. Then onto the side of the bed, you've got your light switches which control all the lights within the rooms. And you've also got your USB connections underneath those lights. Standard size safe. There's always the thing of, can you fit an iPad? I think maybe next time we need to try and fit an iPad. Here you can see this is the space between the bed and the wardrobe opening on our balcony. And then this is the difference in size on a deluxe balcony cabin. As you can see, there is a lot more room to open those wardrobe doors there. That's one little niggle that I do have about these rooms. It's really difficult to open the wardrobe doors and actually get anything out because it is so close to the bed. Plenty of shelf space. Again, we used all of our packing cubes, which makes the kit a lot easier because everyone just has a shelf each. You've got one wardrobe this side, and then the other side there's a shorter wardrobe where I was able to hang the kids' clothes, because obviously their clothes aren't quite as long as ours. And then obviously you've got the USB port on the other side of the beds. You've got your spotlight for reading and then your lamp next to you also. Here we have the sofa, which also converts into a bed. And our lovely cabin steward is going to show you how you get bunk beds in a cabin. So this cabin itself is the same size as a standard balcony cabin. You just have the added extra of having the conservatory on the end of the cabin itself. So not as big as a deluxe balcony cabin. Here you have your tea and coffee making facilities and also a very good sized fridge. Plenty of places to store your soft drinks or your alcoholic drinks. We took a whole case of drinks on board with us, so that cupboard was actually full of cans of drink and bottles of water for the kids. Again, so you get, as you're in a suite, you get the coffee machine there. It did take a little while to work out how to use it. Could have done with some instructions. Onto the TV, we do love the TVs on P&O cruises as all of the films are included. This is a massive bonus when you've got kids and you just want to chill out for a couple of hours. You've got the navigation channel on there, and also there were quite a few box sets. The TV also pulls out and you can move it into different positions. Tom loves a navigation channel. Then onto the dressing table. So you've obviously got your 3-pin plugs, so they are all British plugs on board. Again, there was our bottle of sparkling wine, and we did get a few extra gifts from P&O, so thank you very much to them for those. You had a world atlas included, and also some funky binoculars. If you want to follow us on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter, you can do so here. At Cruising with the 4 Bs. Now into the conservatory. So this was a really nice use of space actually. It was somewhere that you could just go and chill out a little bit. As you can see, I'm sat there with the kids there.
So one of the perks to having a conservatory suite is that you can open the doors fully. She says this did take us quite a while to figure out how to do it. So that one opens.
And you can also, can't you, hook the doors up?
So now let's talk about staying in a conservatory suite on the promenade deck. We've seen, and before we went on board, we had seen lots of videos regarding the fact that you are on the promenade deck and there are people walking back and forth. It's quite a controversial subject actually, but we're going to give you our honest opinion on what we actually thought. I was really wary, thinking there were going to be people continuously walking past our balcony. However, this wasn't the case at all. The only time we really saw people outside on the promenade deck were when the sun was shining on that side. So there were days when there were people literally putting their towels out beneath our balcony at 8 a.m. Fine, if you want to do that, that's okay. However, it didn't really feel like anyone was looking in. Maybe saw the odd person look and say, oh, that's one of those conservatory cabins. And I just said, oh, you can look through if you like. It's not that exciting. And it was a good conversation starter when people were walking back and forth. When you're actually sat on the balcony, you can't see above the railings there. And people, unless they come right up, can't see over the top. A really good thing about this, we could put the kids over. Probably shouldn't have done, but we did have a whirlpool nearby, so it was quite handy for them. Also, at night, they close the doors by the Keel and Cow, so people can't actually get out and walk around that part of the promenade. And by that point, you're not actually in the cabin anyway. So, yes, maybe not the most ideal location. I think the only reason that I didn't particularly like it was the fact that we didn't have a straight sea view. I did miss looking straight into the sea and having that glass, and obviously the promenade between you and the sea was a little bit of a pain. But other than that, you know what? It didn't bother us at all. One thing to be very mindful of, the kids did come in and out quite a lot, opening the curtains while I was getting changed. So apologies now if anyone saw Tom or I while they were walking past our cabin. So one thing we will say, this cabin would not be for you if you really do like your privacy, if you really like those sea views, wouldn't really be ideal. And if you like peace and quiet, we've got 2 noisy kids, so actually they were almost sucked in with all of the noise that was going on around, so we didn't really notice any of that. And again, with the privacy thing, although people aren't looking in and out, you can't, as I said, just walk around. So this cabin is perfect for small kids. Some people are quite worried about having balcony cabins with children, thinking that they're going to climb over. The balconies themselves, the railings are really, really high. However, with this cabin, obviously you've got the added protection that if they were to find a way to climb over. They're only going to go onto the promenade deck. They're not going to go into the sea, which again wouldn't happen. Never heard of it happening, but just to point that out, it is a worry as a parent and something that you think about. And also just on that point, all of the balcony cabins have lock very, very high up. So small children wouldn't be able to reach that to unlock the door at any point. So you would be watching them all of the time. Another thing to say about the Deck 8 cabin conservatory suites is that if you are on a saver fare, chances are you will get given Deck 8. There are more of the cabins on Deck 9, but they will normally be taken up on a select fare. So if you do have the saver fare and you bid for an upgrade, chances are you're going to be getting a Deck 8 conservatory suite. Again, we enjoyed the conservatory suites. There were a few little points. As I said, the cabin itself was very narrow. We had been upgraded from a deluxe balcony, and actually, although having the conservatory space was ideal, and actually for 2 weeks we were able to put a lot of things in there, all of the shoes and everything, and got them out of the way. But after 2 weeks walking by each other, it's almost like you need a traffic light system of right, stop and go, who's going next. But we really, really liked the cabin. And yeah, my only gripe, and I say this on all of the new P&O ships, is that there's no drawers. It is a real pain having no drawers. Not sure why that is. Maybe it's more cost effective not having drawers. It's easier to keep things clean. Who knows? But I do like a good drawer. So the other gripe that I do have with this cabin is the fact that the wardrobe doors open onto the bed. I've said it before, I'll say it again. And I always get really annoyed when we go on with Tom's mum, because she always seems to have a bigger cabin and it's just her staying in it. And she has the bed nowhere near the wardrobe, so she can just get in and out. When there's 4 of you and everyone's trying to get in a wardrobe at the same time, it is a bit of a pain, but a very minute detail. So I'd say that's probably all of my gripes. Would I stay in a conservatory cabin again? I would on Deck 9. I think for the added extras, it was definitely worth it. Having just that small amount of extra space, I think, again, was really worth it. If it had been a cruise that we had been on where it was a lot colder, perhaps not, because we wouldn't really be able to utilise the whole conservatory with having the doors open onto the balcony. And also, I did really miss having that sea view. So I think, yeah, I would. I think the conservatory, again, could be used for other things. It would be amazing if it was, there's obviously a reason that it's not, but if it could be changed that you had the sofa and a bed out there just to give you a little bit more room in the cabin, and actually to have them as bigger family suites. I think that is something that lacks, unless you've got a lot of dollar and you can go and stay in a massive suite. It's quite difficult with 4 of you in a cabin. And we did actually say, with the children getting older, I'm not sure how long we are all going to be able to stay in one cabin for, because it is a bit of a tight squeeze the older that they are getting. But yeah, I think I would stay in a conservatory cabin again. I think, don't be put off by the fact that people are walking past. It didn't really bother us, and I thought it would really, really bother me. But actually, it was quite nice saying hello to people. So next week we will be doing our embarkation day, and we'll see how smoothly we actually got onto the ship, having all of the extra perks of staying in the suite. And again, if you have liked this video and you're looking forward to watching more of our content, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment, anything you want to ask about the conservatory suite. But for now, all I can say is happy cruising. And if you would like to look at a ship tour of Arvia, it's just here. Open it.